Hello everyone, welcome at the FIDE Women's World Team Chess Championship 2023. We are in Poland in Bydgoszcz and we do have third day and the final day of the tournament where we're gonna have 12 teams in the competition. From today on, we're gonna have only top 8 teams and then less. We are your commentators working in the studio, Grandmasters Alojzije Janković, Grandmaster Marcin Tasbir.
And as I'm always adding, Keti Tsatsalashvili.
So guys, we do have here a lot of incredible games, and some of the teams have already qualified. So this is a qualification stage, and in both pools A and B, we do have 2 qualifiers. Now let's take a look at the standing and check it out for those teams.
Yeah, Pool A, Kazakhstan is really cruising fantastically through this event. Seems that everything is going their way. Georgia had this one tough moment, but it seems that, yeah, qualification as they already qualified, but in general their play is quite, the level is quite high. And then we have this huge fight for the last 2 places, which takes teams to the next KO stage. France, Ukraine, India with chances, and of course Egypt is trying maybe to be a decisive factor.
That's right. In Pool B, we do have USA and Poland already qualified to the top 8, and we do have China, Bulgaria, FIDE Americas together with Germany battling out. Only 4 teams will go from this stage to the next, and now it is time to take a look at the pairings, and here we have the pool. The winner of the Pool A, 4th place, will play against 3rd place, and then
yeah, we have the system, which means that it's very important that you try to be best in your group. Okay, there might be some calculation. I don't know. This is maybe more suitable to some football championships. I don't think, Keti, that some teams are avoiding or trying to calculate which place is better. I think they're playing like a normal match, not thinking is it wiser to be second than instead of first. I think we will have like a normal play that people will focus on their own games, not thinking about next pairings in the KO.
right. And the pairings of the last round of the qualification. In Pool A, we do have Ukraine against France. Those 2 teams have the same scores, and this is very important match for them. Georgia versus Kazakhstan. This is very nice matchup, but both teams have already qualified. Then we have Egypt against India in this pool, and Pool B. What is the situation here?
Yeah, India is trying to win, of course, against Egypt, and then waiting that the match between Ukraine and France is decisive, trying to overtake one of those 2 teams. But of course, if the match ends in a draw, then Ukraine and France, they both will qualify, since India won't be able to catch them. So India is playing their own match, trying to score as much as possible while having an eye on the match Ukraine against France.
That is right, and here we have the view of beautiful city of Bydgoszcz and also the playing venue. The players are ready to start the round, and very soon, with just 1 minute, we're gonna hear the sound of the gong. We will not hear, actually. The players will hear that sound, and the matches will start.
Yeah, traditional. Now it's becoming like a traditional way how to enter the round, except the ceremonial move. Now you will see in some playing halls that this is the way how arbiters or some distinguished guests are starting, giving a sound of start the match.
That's right, and here we have the handshake.
Yeah, turning clocks and blitzing first 7 to 10 moves in most of the games. I'm quite curious. We are always eager to see what will happen on the boards. of course, since it's national competition, it's team competition, it's very, I would say, important for all those countries, so the players are enjoying, I would say, support from many seconds, many good trainers who are preparing them for the games and trying to guess the openings, so it's always interesting to follow those first moves of the matches. We do have some of them we can check, but before so we might have another look once again on the pairings, since we have in Pool B also a very important match which is deciding who will join the first four teams and enter KO phase. This match is Germany against Bulgaria. Germany desperately needs to win, while Bulgaria would be happy with the draw and of course win, but it's not psychologically easy. If you play for a draw, you might become passive in some games, and this is a risk usually you don't want to take. Also, China against Americas, it's a direct match where Americas is trying to catch China.
It is in their hands if they win this match. FIDE America against China, Germany against Bulgaria. They will have the equal points, but we have here a direct account, and this is very important. So you can just make your destiny yourself, and you can qualify by yourself.
This is very important. It's important that we explain to our viewers that in this group stage there is no additional tiebreak, while in the knockout phase we will have possible tiebreaks with blitz rate of play 3+2. So in this scenario, in the group, only like a classical tiebreaks are taken into account, not a normal game points and then Buchholz or Sonneborn and so on.
It's one more detail that catches my eyes is that in both pools, in Pool A, Georgia faces against Kazakhstan, and in Pool B, Poland faces USA. Those four teams are anyway qualified. So this big matchup that we were waiting for, it is important for these teams, as we saw. The next pairings is pretty much based on this results, but it is not as sensitive as for the other teams that are still fighting for the top 8.
Yeah, I think first plan of each team was to qualify to the next phase. Of course, additional benefit is if you are first and then you might play with some weaker team, but come on, let's say that you are first in one group and then you're playing against like a fourth placed team in the next room. It can be Germany or I don't know, some very good teams with huge, I would say, big average of rating at the starting list, so it doesn't mean much. So it's important for every team. It's important first that they qualify. I think they will later think about future KO matches.
That is right. Shall we take a look at the games? And I would suggest to take a look at Germany versus Bulgaria. This is very tough match here. Germany starting really bad this competition with 3 losses in a row, first 3 rounds. They still have a chance to qualify.
Yeah, they are completely aware that, of course, they need to win Germany, while, as I mentioned, Bulgaria has this extra option, which is always useful, that 2-2 is in your favor. What I see that Elizabeth is choosing this sideline with G3, but these days really it's hard to say which is a sideline, which is a main line, because we have so many interesting tries in the opening. So this is like a also normal way sacrificing opponent or transposing to some fianchetto style openings like Catalan. On the second board we have Georgana against Dinara. As we mentioned a few times, Dinara is very well prepared, putting pressure, but mainly with white pieces. So it will be very interesting to see how will she play today, where she's taking black pieces. It's not easy to create some initiative when you are black or out-prepare your opponent. So I'm quite curious about her strategy. At the moment, it seems that she's taking some, I would say, a little bit slower footsteps. So normal London position. On the third board, we have Josephine against Beloslava. This is already a bit more developed, typical stuff, Sicilian, where white is not pushing d4, not heading for open Sicilian, then this maneuver of exchanging bishop on f3 to gain additional control over the diagonal is quite common. White is enjoying two bishops, but black is super solid, so this is like a normal way. Depends of matter of taste, what you prefer. Either you like to play with this queenside play, or you like to hang on two bishops. And on the last board, we have these 4 knights with bishop b5, which is very challenging and actually is offering, I would say, reasonable chances for white to gain some initiative. There are several ways to react. Some players even like to play bishop d6, as I think you know the point is when the bishop takes on c6, this is the way how this bishop will be open, and then this bishop d6 is actually not restricting too much, and also black is preparing this knight e7 transfer. At the moment looks super solid, or I would say just at the beginning phase of the match.
Yep, that's right. Very interesting. Things gonna heat up for sure in the pool B as well as in the other pool, because this can be the last
Let's
shot.
cruise a bit. Which one you will
Yeah, I would suggest to go to pool A and check out Ukraine versus France. This is also a very interesting matchup, and a little bit information and details who are the best players so far in both pools. We can say that in pool B, Coulon Claudia has 3 out of 3, and the very interesting thing is that she has won all those games with black pieces. That's not happening very often, right?
Yeah, so she's on a mission to bring her team, points with black.
Then the second best player in Pool B is Alice Lee from USA, 3.5 points out of 4, and she's playing on the first board. This is something that we have to shout out Alice for being so strong, not to lose any point, just a half point share, just a half point out of 4 rounds. And then we do have Qi Go from China. She has 3 out of 4, and she's playing on the 4th board.
Okay, as we mentioned yesterday, it's important, of course, to score many points, but the real things will come later, and some players who are not in a perfect favor, or shape, if they manage to score a crucial point in the chaos system, they could be heroes for their country and the team. So it's always important that you fight till the end. As we mentioned, this Global Chess League, which ended like a huge drama when suddenly unexpected hero was Biere, Grandmaster, who was really having a bad tournament before. I just want to add that here I see that Eushenina is resting after yesterday's loss. On the first board is Natalia Buksa with white pieces playing this Sicilian, bishop b5, Rossolimo. Before, everyone was playing open Sicilian, then suddenly some players start to play bishop b5, a little bit more positional style. And actually, G6 was, I would say, reaction, which was more classical and more played. Then suddenly came players like Rajabov, who started to play this e6, and Boris Gelfand, who used his preparation for the World Championship match against Vishy Anand in Moscow. And after that match, his main preparation was connected with Lasker Sicilian. And of course, he was ready for bishop b5 in that match, and then he used that knowledge for next tournaments. And frankly speaking, he developed so many new ideas that for black that I was very, very impressed to see how he was handling this double pawns position. But I think we have some new material from our friend.
Yeah, I always like to see Martin in the studio. He usually has something very nice to share with us. Martin, what is today?
Thank you for your warm words. Let's start with the Egypt against India match, the last board. It's very interesting that we have an Alekhine defense, which occurs actually, I believe, rather in rapid games than in a classical. But let's take a look what happened here, because up to now there is nothing new. F4 for opponent's attack, DEF C5, and I was very astonished to see that white took the pawn on C5 instead of playing D5, gaining the spatial advantage here. I believe this is the best way to play with white. And after a few minutes, white took on C5, and after the exchange of the queens and bishop G4, actually black is already better in that position. So as you can see, even in 8 moves in Alekhine defense, you may stay better with black. All right, back to the studio.
Wow, that was really unexpected to ruin the pawn structure. She has something in mind, probably. We're gonna keep the eye on this. And meanwhile, please guys do let us know who do you think gonna qualify to the top 8, which is the country that you are supporting. We are reading the comments on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And yeah. So tell us who you are rooting for.
Yeah, I think first day we announced that we do have some kind of small gifts, right, for our viewers. So maybe we might announce that in a KO phase, right?
Maybe. Maybe we will take it. So let's take a look at the rest of the matches in the match of France against Ukraine. Very, very interesting matchup here. One of these two teams will go to top 8.
Yeah.
They cannot go both of them, in fact.
Mm-hmm. So, we have, where is it? Help me. I need to find it.
For...
I skipped?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was the, the previous one.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Here? No, wait. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so second board, we do have, first board was the Sicilian, second board was this opening where we have this bug a few days ago with the queen exchange, but it's similar structure where D and C pawns will disappear. Some players like to play it with white, claiming that they have some advantage, while some players with black pieces are quite confident. They're claiming that there is no chance they will lose that one. This one is more interesting. It's Rogozin variation, where usually if white is well prepared, white can put some pressure on black positions, so black should be very careful, but quite solid. And on the last board, we do have also another Sicilian. I would say that black is normal, but it seems that this match is not so interesting at the moment. Maybe we should switch to China against Americas. What do you think?
That's a very good idea, as those two teams are also trying to get the seat in top 8.
So let's see the strategy. Let's see the strategy. What I see on the first board, that black is playing some normal game. Okay, this is a nice point. This nice C6, and yeah, black is safe enough, although white is enjoying some small plus, but I don't see anything tangible here. It looks that black is very solid. On the second board, also classical position, double fianchetto. Black managed to come out with his bishop, her bishop out of the chain. It looks really, really completely normal. This one looks better for white. Let's see what happened here. Usually when you allow this e4, then white is slightly better. Yeah, this should be already a bit unpleasant. Bishop can come to g5 or h6, and queen will land on h4, and so on. Here, normal position as well. Not easy to say what's going on. Black will play c6. Next move, I don't know, looks completely normal. We don't have anything really, I would say, sharp, super sharp. Maybe we should find somewhere something. Okay, this might be interesting because this Petrov with nice e3 variation and long castle usually gives white many tactical possibilities. And if I'm not mistaken, we already seen this variation in Chinese game. In Chinese match, player Guo played it with black, where suddenly there was some really interesting events in the end, but this should favor white a bit. Yeah, I'm quite curious. It was the same line as if you recall this d4, and then there was this attack over the b file, and in the end, black prevailed. But I'm quite curious what is Olivia up to. On the second board, this is Queen's Indian sacrifice of the pawn, which is quite common. The point is, if takes, then e4 just wins a piece, since this one is hanging, if black takes on e4. So here, black took with the pawn, long-term initiative. This one is passive. Usually, they say, even Anish Giri has said that if we have two fianchetto, usually stronger one is one next to the king, because king is guarding it, and in some position, king is easily going out or exchanging and so on. So when we have two bishops, fianchetto bishops, usually they say the slightly preferable is one next to the king. So here bishop b2 was played, rook e8, still white is enjoying initiative. On the third board, French defense, exchange, bishop e7, so postponing a6. This is interesting. Everyone is playing here a6, so bishop e7. Okay, not everyone, but mainly they're playing is bishop e7 is a bit sidelined, but now after knight b5, I'm quite curious what will happen here. I guess queen e5 will be played. And on the last board, we have classical position, slight plus for white, but in hands of solid players, that's not much. Maybe we should ask Marcin to give us some game where there is more drama.
Right, we're desperately looking for some drama, Marcin.
Yeah,
do you have
okay.
something for us?
The same match as before, India against Egypt on the last board, and as we can see, this is the Najdorf variation in Sicilian opening, the bishop g5, so the sharp lines, and after e6, f4, queen b6, white played a3. Of course, now pawn on b2 is untouchable due to knight a4, that's why we played a3, so the queen would be captured. So that's why a3, but here I believe white has mixed few other variations, and now actually black can easily take the pawn on b2 because the rook is not protected on a1, and you cannot catch the queen now, and after castle black may simply come back and can be pawn up. So as we can see in that position, black is still thinking, Agraval Vantika is thinking, but she can take the pawn. And I believe India needs that victory and also needs to pray that there is no draw in France against Ukraine match. So, all right, let's come back to the studio.
Ooh, seems like what Martin is suggesting, all the parties happening in the match of Egypt and India. Shall we take a look at the rest of two games maybe and check it out what is happening there? There is a very interesting situation in case if India wins this match against Egypt, and then the team Ukraine and France ends up with 2-2, then France and Ukraine qualifies to the top 8. That's the only way that two teams, Ukraine and France, who are facing right now against each other, they can qualify.
Yeah, let's check the second board, what's going on here at the moment. Again, some position which is a matter of test. Either you like one side. To me, the black is perfectly safe, but of course white has also something to be happy about. So it looks quite normal. On the third board, this looks more challenging, and to my feeling, I would say that something went a bit wrong for white. Let's check, since it looks that black is enjoying already some nice initiative. Maybe it's not much, but this F file is opened. Of course, white will try to do something on the other wing, but at the moment it seems that the ball is in white's court. Probably engines will give some plus for white, but from practical point of view, this position seems quite useful to play with black. Okay, this one we already commentate. So it seems that this match is heating up.
It seems like, and we also have Martin back in the studio in a few seconds with more updates. Martin, what do you have for us?
Just a short review. In China against FIDE Americas, white can have a decisive advantage after c5, playing c5. This f6 looks very, very artificial and doubtful. I doubt that it is correct. And after c5, if black takes bishop c4, white is attacking the pawn on e6, and after rook a to e8, queen h3, white can obtain a great advantage in that position. Taking the pawn on e6, I believe white should have a decisive advantage if played correctly. All right, back to the studio.
Interesting.
This is interesting moment since it looks so logical, so easy, but this queen h3 touch is really nice to see. So my prediction would be that either white is not thinking in that direction, maybe not considering that concept with bishop, because it's not so usual. So she might get up to that plan, but with serious time consumption, while she still enjoys advantage anyway. So
yeah, I would say
it's
that
tricky,
she would go for that. I would say she would go for that. Maybe she will start with queen to h3. Maybe we can pull up the board on the screen so our viewers can see it too. That is the match of China versus FIDE America.
Yeah, let's
and board 3.
find it.
So I believe that she will go for it. She might start with queen h3 at the beginning, because you're attacking the pawn right away, and there is also this detail that if black plays f5, then you have knight g5 move, and this move is very easy to spot out.
Yeah, I understand your point. The only concern would be that here, when you play c5, I'm just trying to analyze some calculations. When you play c5 and place your bishop to c4, take on e6, king moves to h8, you need to be sure that, or you need to be aware that taking on e6 is giving some advantage.
All right.
Okay.
And she plays.
Yeah, great.
Ooh,
Great.
Plays.
Great.
What a
Nice to
nice
see.
find.
Nice to see. Yeah, these are those moments where you can feel, as we mentioned, who is in good shape and who is feeling well to be able to spot those things. Also, this is, although it's a classical shot known from Slav defenses, Queen's Indian, Garry Kasparov has played it many times. So yeah, it's not some unknown concept, but it's nice.
It's nice to
Yeah,
say. We
yeah.
wanted drama.
Yeah,
We have a
yeah.
drama.
Good.
And the after of this is Women International Master Ning Kaiyu from China. She is 18 years old, right now holding 2309 FIDE standard rating, but her maximum rating was very close to 2400 in February 2023. But this summer she played a lot of tournaments, and one latest tournament she played was in Spain, where unfortunately she lost a lot of rating points, and that's why her rating now is a little bit dropped.
Yeah, actually I was praising this decision without knowing her results in this event, but it seems when we check that she's not performing so well. She started with 3 draws, although we commented that they had serious jet lag and they were traveling a lot. And yesterday she lost, right? In the 4th round, which means that results are not inspiring, but this move might be like a turning point.
Yeah, I would say that these 3 draws she made was quite nice, because those opponents are quite experienced players and playing a lot of competition. And the last game, if you can recall, was the final one, Knight and the Rook, and the pawn versus Rook. That was really tough. But we remember that something happened in that game. She was playing very nicely, and sometimes you just not having a good luck in the tournament. But seems like after seeing this move C5, this is something that we're gonna keep the eye on.
Yeah, and we can say to our viewers that her opponent, actually they both still haven't scored a point, a win in their games. So maybe it's time that we see one player, one of them, scoring, which is always important for like a personal achievement, that you score a win in the World Championship.
Yeah, why not? Bishop c4 is on the board, pawn on e6 is hanging. We just saw, as Martin showed to us, that the pawn on e6 is very hard to hold. Maybe black has to just give it up, decide to move with the king away, and then find the proper squares for these pieces, because black's pieces are somehow not connected well.
Yeah, I fully agree. Before we started to take an eye on games, on matches, we said that Kazakhstan is cruising convincingly through this tournament. Maybe it's a moment that we take a look to their games, what's going on in that match, since it seems that they are now in really good shape in this tournament. Is something going on there, or it's still everything under control?
I think they have very nice positions. We might start from the first board. Bella Hotanashvili taking Bibisara Sulbaeva here with white pieces. White has more space advantage, but black is claiming like, I'm fine, I'm just holding here.
Yeah, it seems that black is taking this strategy of wait and see, because it's a solid position. Although I would be a bit worried with my bishop on c8, since it's white passive. Without that bishop, let's say that we exchange it for one of those pieces, it would be very useful for black. In these circumstances, it's a bit annoying, so I would say that white is better in this position. So quite curious to see what is Bibisara up to. Let's check the second board. Here another Rui Lopez, this time with exchanges. Knight landed on f5, bishop on f8 is ready to defend king's position, and now came this knight takes e5. White is slightly better, but I don't think this is dangerous at all for black. So everything under control, I would say here. So my opinion that on the first board, Bella Hotanashvili is better. Here they are quite stable. This one is more interesting, more in the style I was playing. So we have this variation of King's Indian, postponing knight development from g1, knight a6 played, and then came this h4. The move now, all the engines are playing. Yeah, Lila, Alpha 0, and so on. So everyone is pushing Stockfish, everyone is pushing h4, trying to immediately create initiative. e5, d5, knight c5, threatening to take on e4. Queen is protecting. Usually they play a5 here, securing the knight's position, but black want to say that first I will stop your action on the king side. If you push b4, I might have some tactics, maybe even with taking on e4 and putting pressure on your position, for example, like this, and after queen f3, e4, and your rook is falling. So this is the concept. I don't need to play to waste a bit of time with a5, so I push h5, f3 played, and now came this a5 after e4 was protected. Knight to h3. I don't think this is anything serious, because even bishop take h3 is not bad for black for sure. But she played c6, which is also typical. When you open your wing, open your king side, reaction is then to counterattack in the center. And usually it's useful for black if she can include c6 move. Knight came to f2, exchange on d5 and probably some b5 at one stage, or b6 to protect the knight. Normal position, since white is not threatening much, this looks scary, but if you play g5, I move my knight. If you take on h5, I take with the knight. So still nothing for black to worry about, but black needs to do something on the other wing. And we have this one we just saw, and this one is also quite known. We have the Sicilian g6 I mentioned already today, c3, e5, and then came this exchange, bishop f4. This is all theory. Queen a4, protecting the bishop indirectly. Knight g7, bishop d6. This is all known. Maybe this is the first move, which might be a sideline. Takes, queen to d1. This looks slightly better for white, but maybe not a big deal. Yeah, it seems that this match, but it seems that this match that at the moment first board is the one where white is enjoying stable advantage, while on the third board we do have some sharp position ahead of us.
Yeah, this is the match for sure, which brings a lot of entertainment. Although the players are not that stressed right now as they have qualified, but still they're looking for each and every game to be played. But I would bet all the fun will happen within this between these two in the knockout system.
Yeah, but it's also important, if you manage to win, then you are maybe entering later possible match in KO phase with a little bit more positive energy. And also, if you win a pool and become a first team there, you are also maybe showing your muscles, and also you will get some attention and praise in your country and in media. So it's always good to be first, even if it's only a qualification phase.
That's right. Now let's take a look once again. We have covered every team, I believe, and there's one very interesting situation. Poland, USA were on the first board. Olivia Kolbasa decided to not to wait too much and to attack on the king side. Her last move is g4.
Maybe I will say something which is not fully correct, but at the moment I think that Olivia is playing best chess. What I've seen in few rounds, somehow she's very confident. She's keeping her positions under control. So it seems that the level of play is really high, and I think she's now important factor for the team. For the team. So although she is playing on the first board, scoring 1+, so 1 win and 3 draws, it might not be like a heavy score, but I think she's giving a huge boost for her team, and she'll be an important factor. So at the moment, the way how she played, she always gets nice positions. Yeah, I think she's a huge asset for the Polish team.
Yeah, that's true, and also she's not the most experienced player of the team. We can see Monika Sochko sitting on the second board, and I think that's sort of strategy of this team to put Olivia on the first board, who is fighting, who is always putting all this effort, and then to put Monika on the second board, who is very classy player, and
Yeah, and
she can also.
I think
score
they're
a lot of
also
points.
trying to show that they are having a big, they are putting a big hopes on Olivia in future as well. So trying to immediately give her some confidence for future tournaments and future matches. So she's now a big hope of Polish chess. She's playing against her opponent. Who is scoring,
Alice is
who is scoring
amazing, yes.
heavily. So we will see how will this game.
Yeah, Alice Lee plays here with black pieces. She has scored against Antonetta Stefanova, or does Lisandra Yoxin Song and made a draw Elizabeth Pegg.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Paz. This is
three
impressive.
three wins in a row on the first board. Usually they say that you're counting on points on the lower boards because it's not easy to win on that top level where the players are well prepared, not making some mistakes. So usually you are trying to gain points on the lower board. So here to have 3 wins in a row on the first board,
Yeah.
it's a huge thing.
And these two teams, Poland and USA, they have the same strategy. They put the youngest participants on the first board. They are showing their best, in fact, by the points. And then they are putting very well experienced players, Sochko and Zatonsky, on the second board. They have very similar strategies.
Yeah, because Anna was, she was really experienced in many tournaments, winning US championships many times. So of course, big strength for the team.
Right, we have Marcin in our studio once again with some interesting updates.
Yes, exactly. We were talking about that position lately, and it seems that White could have obtained a great advantage here by not taking on a c6, but instead sacrificing one of the pawns with knight to c2 because of the lack of development of black pieces and the king in the center. AG, if black plays queen b2, then I can play queen d2 with the idea of knight c3, and I have a great initiative. Instead, White took on c6 immediately, and after dc I believe black has no problems at all. After knight c3 I can even play bishop e6 or something like that, or king g7, does not matter actually. Black is totally fine here, so as you can see White could have played better, but it's not that easy to sacrifice a pawn just after the opening. All right, so back to the studio.
Well, if you guys notice on this position, there is only pawns on the light squares, and the bishop is also a light square. That is a bit dubious for me, to be honest, and I can't believe that can be any good.
Yeah, but
this
the
is
position,
chess and you need to calculate
the position
the
is
moves.
open, and usually bishop can be developed quite fast later. Let's check the match we were speaking between US and Poland. Black was trying to here to relieve the tension by playing queen b8, offering a queen exchange, and now Olivia is thinking in her style it's more to stay with the queen on the board by playing some move like queen e4 or something, but of course it's tempting also to exchange the queens and move on with her pawns on the king side. So interesting decision, since we mentioned that they already qualified. It's not necessary to burn all the bridges. So quite an interesting moment. Her opponent is in very good shape, so of course she's aware that she cannot underestimate her position. She needs to play very objectively, and what she just did is in favor of later. So on the second board we are experiencing more sharp situation, and I would love to be white here, but as we mentioned before, Monica is very experienced and she knows how to handle maybe slightly worse position. Yeah, I don't know, white is better, but it's time to do something. Anna is known that she likes to spend a little bit more time than her opponents, so it would be interesting to see what will she do next. This one, classical stuff, this knight b5, queen e2, bishop e4, didn't yield much to white, but still white is slightly better, although not much. Looks normal. And on the last board, yeah, Claudia is on fire, but let's see.
Oh, she's again with black pieces.
Yes,
Watch
yes.
out, Annie. She has 3 out of 3
Yeah.
with black pieces, and now her latest move d4 is a trap. It's
Yeah.
very, very easy, but it's still a trap.
Yeah, we can show it. If takes, rook takes, queen takes, there is this discovered attack, and queen is taking on d4, Her Majesty. Yeah. So this is the point. There were some discussions in terms of team events, team chess rating connected, because sometimes there were some players who were playing in team competition only with white, which is some advantage, of course, and some players, because of necessity or team strategy, were playing only with black. And then people are saying this is not so fair, because then the rating shouldn't be calculated the same like in other tournaments, when you are sure that you will have like close to 50% of each colors. But of course it's hard to judge the situations. But yeah, I wouldn't dig too much. But it's true that if you are like more times black, of course it's tougher. But as we can see here, Claudia likes that situation.
Yeah.
Playing with black.
Yeah, and you know, if her opponent is not capturing this pawn now on d4, she might even push it on d3, and this pawn will somehow just lock down white's position.
Yeah, white will take. This is from my point obvious, because when you have bishop, you should open the things, and after rook takes, then queen to c3, let's say, and or somewhere else even, it's possible to come to e3, and it looks that white is slightly better, although not much is happening there. It looks drawish, yeah, but still, of course, it's possible to find some resources. So let's stick maybe to a match, one match which maybe is the most challenging at the moment. How about Germany against Bulgaria, or you have different idea, Keti?
I think that's a very good idea, and we can just switch from first board to fourth board in that match.
Let's do it. Let's do it. This is a match to follow. So Elizabeth against Antonetta Stefanova. As I heard before, that Antonetta was really a tough opponent for Elizabeth, scoring heavily against her. But in the recent times, Elizabeth recovered. But head to head, Antonetta was a really tough opponent for her. This seems very fine for black, although trouble is already approaching it, and when you are almost 20 minutes behind, means something. So I'm quite curious to see, will Antonetta start to play a little bit more faster, since she's already behind on clock really a lot.
Yeah, sometimes when one of the players is behind on the clock, it shows that she's not comfortable in the position.
Yeah, or depends of the style, which phase of the game you are enjoying more. And there are some players who are really good in endgames, and they are investing energy at the beginning of the game just to have some position or classical position. They are aware are that endgame or some middle game where they know the structures, and they are just spending energy in the opening more than usual.
Yeah, you mentioned about this matchup here, Stefanova against Spets. They have played tons of games. I can now look at the database, and in a classical time control, Antonina Stefanova is leading 7 points. They have made 5 draws, and also we do have the some statistics in blitz and rapid time control in those ones as well. Stefanova is the favorite. This is the games starting from 2001, to be honest. So probably they have played many times, even the tournaments, the games which are not registered in database. And they have played latest game at World Rapid Chess Championship. And in that game, Stefanova won with black pieces.
Yeah, thanks, Keti. I was just trying to guess the situation, but you provided data so quickly that I'm impressed. Yeah, good job. So on the second board, we have Gergana against Dinara. Gergana scored yesterday fantastic win. She's studying in US as also Beloslava Krasteva, so they are really a little bit tired from the travel, which US is not so close, but anyway, yeah, now they recovered and they are enjoying staying in Europe. Studying in US is always, of course, interesting. So they
interesting experience, and there are so many chess players which got the scholarship and the chance to study abroad. Which is a fantastic opportunity for young people to just discover the world.
Yeah, Gergana is studying in Texas, while I think Beloslava is studying in Colombia, where San Luis is not so far. Chess Mecca, right?
Yeah.
Here it seems that white is slightly better control over the A file. Queen is a little bit more active, bishop on d3, but still it's not so much.
I like this position.
Yes.
Let me tell you one thing. How about h4, h5? You try to annoy the black's king, and then you do this one little thing with h-pawn, and then wait for the opponent to do the rest damage, because you never know what the opponent responds.
I like it, Keti. h4, h5 is a move is a plan you want to make here. I'm really happy with this idea from your side.
Another thing, like, depends how black will respond with that. If black just stopped that attack and should stop the attack on the king side, there is also some chance to annoy with rook d1, bishop to go on f3 or maybe on b3 to this d5 pawn, and then at some point to kick the pawn e4 or c4 and slowly just, you know.
Yeah, but now I'm taking a little bit deeper look, and while I'm listening to your ideas, yeah, you proved that I might underestimated the advantage of white. It seems that, Keti, you are completely right, that it seems that white is on top here, and maybe it's no fun to play this position with black.
Exactly. That's the thing. That it's not a big deal here. For sure, black has some ways to avoid all this stress, because it's nothing very serious. But to play in this kind of dead position that you don't have much of the threats to build up, it might be annoying, and sometimes you are just losing the control. Or you're feeling like, oh, you're so relaxed, you're fine in this position, there's nothing too bad, and that's when all the blunders happen.
Yeah, and also when you get out of the opening in this type of position, we exchange a lot of pieces, and as you said, you might get relaxed, and then when you start digging a bit deeper, suddenly you realize that your position is actually tough, and you might not be able to handle that that scenario because you could have done something before much better or much easier to equalize. As I mentioned, Dinara likes to be in this type of position on white side.
Yes,
to
it's her
to
position.
generate
She likes
some
to push,
some
yeah.
initiative, and I'm curious to see how will she adapt to those circumstances now we
Oh.
just mentioned.
The queen dropped. She played queen to b7, I believe, to pair up with the light square bishop maybe at some point.
And
white.
maybe to try to exchange the
Rooks,
the
yeah.
rooks, which is a useful strategy. Still, queen might start to penetrate over f4, d6, and so on. So exchanging pair of rooks doesn't yield full equality, but yeah, it's a good step.
Yeah, and
for
another
black.
thing might be to, at some point, to push d4. If the queen goes out from g4 square, you can push d4 and just get this g2 pawn instead, and you might... This is her style. She's always looking, even in this kind of positions, she's always looking for some serious counterattack on her opponent's king.
Yeah, probably here your move h4 is still on the menu, and if black plays queen a8, either to exchange or to move away with the rook maybe. But of course exchanging is the first option, and after exchanging push h5 or queen somewhere. Still it seems to me that this is unpleasant position, since queen a1, king h2 you cannot take since bishop is falling. Unpleasant situation still, but white will need to show something to be able to convert. On the third board, this...
Oh, she is going for that. She just played h4.
Yeah.
You need to ask second time to her to play this. moves.
As we mentioned yesterday, Girgana is, I would say, attacking player, and you don't need to say her twice to make that type of move. On the third board, Beloslava is having a normal, nice position. I would be a little bit worried with white, since long term my king's explosion and potential bishop exchange will create some attacking chances for black.
I do have a question here.
Yeah.
We do have these two bishops, white bishop on f1, which is not the brightest piece, and black's bishop on g7. Looking same for the moment. Which of these bishops are the worst out of these two?
Now, I would say that long term this position is basically relying of which type of middle game or end game will you have. If we will have a middle game with queens on the board, usually I say that this is the safest trio when you are having a pawn, when you are having a castle. When you start moving the pawns in front of your king long term, it's always possible that your opponent will get some counter-attacking chances. So if white manages here to exchange the queens, this is a first step. Then long term, her two bishops might be like some kind of asset. If black manages to somehow open a little bit more white's king, then long term problems of white are quite challenging. But we do have margin.
Yeah, we do have margin with some updates in the game.
Exactly. We could have taken the bet, Keti, against Alojzije, that after f6 white played c5 actually, and after bc bishop c4, rook f2e8, and rook e1, which is easier to find at knight queen h3, of course. And here white just took a pawn on f6, and the exchange of the queens gives a great advantage to white. I believe I can play rook a to d1, for example, and I still should be much better in that position. So for the next time, Keti, we should take some bets for sure.
Yeah, don't do it, please, because we can start just taking my bets opposite what I said. Yeah, but I'm praising players to find those resources, so they are really good. and it's nice to see that they are not missing those chances.
Oof, no.
Yeah, let's check.
They're looking chances like this. If they have a chance,
Let's
they're
check
fearless.
cameras. Let's have a big view to see how the players are doing there. Are they already nervous? Maybe we could check some board to zoom it to see. Yeah.
I see Claudia Colon walking right now in the playing venue, and then I ask myself, really? It's a rapid time control.
Yeah,
and
now we
what's
see
the reason?
Bulgaria against Germany. It seems that Dinara is somehow relaxing a bit, but of course still completely aware that she's under initiative. On the third board, some tension between Josephine Heinemann and Beloslava Krasteva. Maybe at the moment quite important game. Which side will prevail there? Yeah, on the first board we see Stefanova, Pets against Stefanova. Maybe Pets a little bit more concerned. How do you find this body language, Keti?
Yeah, I think Elizabeth is very much in her position, and I see these two knights now on the board, and I can say that she is very, very strong technical player, and she enjoys this kind of positions. But she knows that this is the first board, and the rest of the team has the eyes on the first board, as on all the teams, and she also knows that this is a chance, this is the last day, and if it's not going well in for the team, they have to go at home without going to the top 8 knockout system. So this is very tense moment, I could feel.
Yeah, I heard from arbiters. Of course, they are with the chief arbiter Thomas Delega and some other arbiters. That they are of course ready to help the players to fulfill the request. I've heard that Antonetta likes a little bit that the light is not so strong. And of course they provide that request. I've been to playing hall, and on some boards of course it's different, but more than enough. And as I mentioned, some players like a little bit to be more soft or more bright, and they fulfilled that request. So perfect conditions for players. This is we all love to see. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I would like to suggest one game that can become very, very interesting. This is a match Poland versus USA, board 3. As Claudia Colon was walking right now, I was like, why she's walking? What's the reason? They didn't went to this line. Let's pull up the screen. But instead of this exchange line, which looks so equal, they found a way to make it very interesting.
Instead of rook takes d4, knight c6 was played, which is, I would say, more profound move. The idea is to bring the knight on d4, which is more appealing than to leave it on e5. Then d5 was played, knight jumped in, bishop c4. Oh, I like the style. So she's ready to sacrifice the pawns. She's trying to bring some activity to her pieces. I like the style of Claudia. This is something which usually guarantees you some good results in future.
Yeah, those are type
also
of players.
This rook d1 is also a nice move to see when instead of moving the bishop, white is placing her rook.
Yeah, this kind of players like Colon, for instance, right now, she found this move to knight f3, and she makes all the damage to the opponent's structure, and still she is not afraid to play this position without a pawn.
Yeah, this is the way how you win in chess, especially rapid or blitz. You need to create some tension, some motives, and players do crack under the pressure without creating some unpleasant situation. It can be still in white favor or completely equal or drawish, but this is the way how you give your opponent chance to go wrong, and this quality is very, very important to
very nice. Yes, and
to
Claudia
guarantee a
was
result.
also the member of the team, one of the teams at World Rapid Team Chess Championship. They got the second place actually in that competition, which first place under 2400 rated players. So this is indeed shows how strong she is in rapid control. And we do have Martin in the studio with some very interesting position to show to us.
Yes, exactly. There is a very, very important match, Germany against Bulgaria. And here we can see that Jana Schneider was playing black, and after b4, white tries to push the pressure with rook f to a1 to attack the pawn on a6. And now black should have played bishop takes e3. So after fe, I can play c5. And if white tries the same trick with rook f to a1, I can simply take on b4 and play rook h to c8. I have a counterplay. And instead of that, black played something terribly wrong. a5 was a very, very big mistake, because it was a forced line, exchanges on a5, and after rook a1, bishop needs to go to b6. Of course, rook a8 is not allowed due to b4, a very nice pin here. And after bishop b6, this rook endgame seems to be much, much better, or even won for white. So as you can see, there is a big mistake of Jana Schneider, and the chances of Germany to qualify further are decreasing rapidly. All right, back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Martin, for the update. Very interesting match indeed. And I think all the tension is increasing right now, as this is already the start, 1 hour from start of the round. And now we are going to see some of the heavy time pressure on the clock in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Let's just recheck this match, if this game between Radeva and Schneider is maybe a key game of the match, but once again we might repeat for our viewers that Vicky Radeva has shown some really extra skills in saving the games lost or critical positions, so maybe she will pull this once again. It's really hard to convert against her. Yesterday there was a really big, I would say, turning the tables in the match in the game of Natalia Buksa, completely lost after the opening and suddenly changing the situation and winning. So it's always possible if your opponent is not precise till the end. Once again, let's check what has happened here. Stefanova has chosen this route. Why? What has happened here? Why she sacrificed this b7 pawn? I don't get it. What is the point? Ah, okay, she took on d4. Now this the knight c6 might be a move to make, because it's cutting the defense and also targeting e7, although then on e2 is attack. Okay, she has a plan. Unclear position. It seems that it's in white favor for a moment, but when you take a deeper look, it might be completely unclear. But Keti, we should stay maybe or come back soon to this game, since Antonetta is already on 6 minutes. Yeah, let's check this.
Quite low time on the clock.
This game went as we expected, but on h4, h5 was played, which is not an easy move to make, since you are putting another pawn to light squares, although it's stopping white pawn push. Queen g7, and it's time for white to find a way how to bring a rook or to prepare some additional threats. Queen e5. Oh, Okay, she didn't want to make a move repetition.
That's very,
Yes.
very nice decision.
Yeah.
Because bishop e2 is
Very nice move,
multi-use
yeah.
move. You're looking to h5. You're looking for rook d1, bishop
Yeah.
f3 to here.
Sorry.
Just in this position, if you can make two moves, rook d1, bishop f3, you're already winning the pawn on d5 because queen from g5 controls d8 square.
Yeah, so let's check the next board here. White made maybe some improvement because queen is out, rook have been doubled. I don't think that black has played this correctly. So in 1-2 moves here, suddenly this knight c6 I don't understand. The most logical reaction is to exchange on c1. So this was strange. Yeah, and this is the game we mentioned. It seems to me that Bulgaria is not in easy situation. At the moment, things...
Oh, the queens got
exchange,
exchanged so fast.
yeah,
I didn't understand what happened.
Yeah. Okay, queen instead of knight c6, queen c6 was played, queen d5 check. This was what happened. Now it looks to me that black is having a normal position, but it will be very important that Antonetta also keeps having some activity and active possibilities, since maybe her game will also be important at some stage, maybe that she can play for a win, since draw might not be enough. If on the last board they are worse, on the third board as well. Yeah. So
Let's take a look of the fourth board of this, as it's a very interesting weekend game. And meanwhile, we do have the first result: China versus FIDE Americas. The draw happened on the first board.
yeah, maybe we can check that match since you announced the result. Is this an important step from one of the teams, or is just not changing so much? So first board was a draw. Then on second board we have unpleasant position for black. Seems that Daisy is pushing here. Night before it's
a
also
threat.
a
It's
move.
a serious threat.
Yeah, also move because rook is pinned. So I'm quite curious to see. This bishop is really bad on h7.
h7,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a piece down basically. Next
Yeah.
moves must be connected with opening that bishop.
At the beginning, you mentioned about this bishop being out, but then being on h7, I was like, no, that's the worst square, because you play this h6 move, right? To have some space for the king, and then bishop on h7 in the end game is the worst place for the bishop, because there's always some sort of like mating nets on the back rank, and for the moment also this bishop does nothing at all on this diagonal.
Yeah, what basically white is doing, white is trying to switch the action to the other wing to exclude this bishop from black's bishop from the game. So tough situation. I don't know that black, I'm not sure that black can keep this one. So it seems that on the start of this match that Americas they are doing fine. This position looked much worse before. Of course, still white is much better, but at least black managed to survive a bit more than expected. And this one is looking much better for black. Okay, still China on the last two boards can keep the advantage.
Yeah, things are heating up on the other boards too. If we take a look of Egypt and India.
Yeah, this match we were not following so closely.
Shall we go right away from third board and start to analyze this match from that point? Padmini wrote against Muattaz Aya. Here we have this position where white has actually very, very good chances on the king side. And now after queen to c2, the threat can be to take on g5 and play queen to g6, or to play queen g6 first. And okay, I was like, wait, queen g6 was possible, and then I saw this pawn on e4, and now you cannot definitely
very
jump
strong
over.
move. Sometimes you don't have so many chances to turn the trend. So here, e4 is the move you must make, since you will be just your position, you will be squeezed and your position will be beyond repair. So this move e4 was the crucial one, because now at least you can hope that you will land with your bishop on d4 if white exchanges on c5.
Yeah, that's
so
a very
this
interesting.
This is the concept.
Can we see that
and
line?
then- so bishop takes c5 is possible to take with the queen or with the pawn, but let's say that we take with the pawn. It's possible to take on e4, and then we, I don't know, rook e4 or bishop.
But there is bishop rook to b7 move.
Okay.
Intermediate move.
Yes.
And white might keep the eye on the bishop or dark square bishop, because as you mentioned, bishop d4 has very nice chances to counterattack on the f2 square. And now,
now rook
instance,
e4 with the point when I play bishop d4, you exchange, and then it's a checkmate. This would be like a nice way. So this rook on b7 is really active and putting some pressure. Or so black needs to be very skillful in in the way to make his bishop active. So queen c5 with the point of rook b7, and now
And
some
then,
bishop d4. But still, if I take on f2, it doesn't mean that I manage to do something special. Still, white looks better in that game.
Right, king g2 has happened. She did not took the knight on c5. King to g2 is sort of move for me that she passes the turn. Oh wait, she's preparing h4 maybe. h4, g takes h4 and rook to h1.
This is nice way to create initiative over the h file. Although it's not easy to move this rook, which is having an eye on b7 square. I don't know. First board looks to me that black is doing good, but again, Vantika is a little bit low on time. On the second board, this is some kind of mess. Will white be able to break through, or those pawns will be crucial?
It's a very good question, yes.
Decisive factor. And on the last board, we do have this endgame, which is hard to evaluate immediately. Seems that black is doing fine.
Extra pawn, I suppose.
Unclear situation for India in this match.
And the time is also quite shaky here for white. 7 minutes against 16. It's not so easy. We can see a little bit on the video that these players are looking around and checking out what is happening.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Egypt, of course, they're trying to gain some experience. They're representing their continent, and of course, how the standings are looking, it's not so encouraging and inspiring. But anyway, if in the last round they win the match and stop India, they might be like a decisive factor in that pool. So it's always interesting.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
something that not many people would expect it, that in the last round Egypt make a positive result against India, but they are having really good chances in this match.
That's indeed true. So in the game of Padmini and Muattaz, we do have some exchanges on the board, and we do have white keeping advantage.
Yeah, white is better here because f3 next will follow, although still there is some job to be done.
Shall we take a look at the match Kazakhstan-Georgia? Because in that match, every game is quite shaky.
Yeah, sure. Okay, first board, I was claiming before that this is advantage for white. Now we have unbalanced material. White looks better, but this queen on h4 is a little bit out of play, and this knight will jump inside, so maybe I need to change my mind and state that black is doing well here. Very tense situation, not easy to evaluate this position. It seems to me that white somehow should be able to be better here, but really hard for me to assess. Engines, we can just consult for a second. Engines are claiming like a serious advantage for white, at least this brief look, but in practical play, when you have some passer and some knight being ready to jump, it's always a bit unclear. It's very important that in your position in rapid you have some active counterplay. Without that, of course, it's much harder. So I would prefer white, but still 3 results are possible here.
Yeah. Bibisara is one of the participants in Pool A who has very nice results. On the first board, she has not lost any games, and she has scored 2 victories and made 2 draws so far in the 4 rounds.
Yeah, we can now switch to the second board. This seems like a clear advantage for black, although there is a job to be done. Now probably we can expect some rook e6 to be played, or king g7. Black is a pawn up, although when this knight will be covered with f3 and rook comes to d5, there will be some activity from white side, although position is it should be clearly in black's favor. Then on the next board, what has happened there? Let me check. These are the positions I like to play with black. So g4, queen c7. Okay, interesting decision to exchange the light square bishop, which is not so common. I think this was not the right concept, since now white can put more pressure. Yeah, it seems to me that white is on top here, that Nino is doing good. On the next board, Melia Salom it looks that she's in big problem.
4 minutes on the clock, and this very strong center of white.
Suddenly this match again looks completely unclear. What do we have? We have better position for Arabidze, reigning European champion. We have on the third board, we have better position for Nino Tsatsalashvili, but on the last board, we have Melia Salom experiencing really tough situation, probably already not defendable. And on the first board, we have Bela Kotenashvili better, but not yet clear will she win that one or not, and 3 results are possible. At the moment, maybe slight plus for Georgia, but again, unclear situation.
All right, we're going to keep the eye on this one, but before that, we have to ask Martin what he has prepared for us for that.
Yep. There is an Egypt against India match, and unfortunately for Egyptians, black, instead of playing a5 with a great counterplay, the position is very complex. As you can see, the queen is pinned with the knight, so the position is unclear. Black instead played knight to a4 and just missed that she's losing a piece in one move. Knight d takes c4, and after bc, queen took on a4. And actually this is a very important victory for India. Not yet. She didn't win it yet, but this position is totally lost to black. So as you can see, something like that may occur also on that level. All right, back to the studio.
No, that was such an unfortunate blunder. Such an unfortunate blunder. But the position was so double-edged, we couldn't even know who was standing better. But now after blundering the piece, we clearly know who is better in that position. Let's bring the playing venue once again. And this is the last time, you guys, we see this playing venue with so many people here, 12 teams, arbiters, the captains, and people who are working here, technicians, are right now in this venue. But from tomorrow, we're going to have quite less people here.
Quite less people, but of course, the fun thing is that we don't know yet whom we will see tomorrow. So still everything is open. Bulgaria is fighting with Germany. We have China with FIDE Americas, open match. Ukraine against France. Will this match end in a draw, or one of the teams will lose it? Also Egypt, India, as we mentioned. So many matches for first place, also open things.
Right.
Quite an interesting round.
It is. So far what we know is that Pool A has two qualifiers, Kazakhstan and Georgia. They are facing against each other right now in this round. And in Pool B, USA against Poland. And in this pool, we also have these two teams facing each other. So in that sense, it's not very dramatic situation. We know those teams has already qualified, so the results will not change too much. But the rest of the teams, all of them still have chances. There is only Egyptian team which has no chances because they have 0 points for now. But the other teams, all of them, still have a very nice chances.
I suggest that we now stick to Germany against Bulgaria. Let's check that match. Let's check the moves. Something has happened. Meanwhile, on the first board, we have Elizabeth Betts against Antoneta Stefanova. Really important encounter. Black is trying to gain some counterplay, but it seems to me that Elizabeth has managed to defend against all the threats, and now this knight c6 will come, which means that black needs to create something very quickly, because it seems to me that we will have like a pawn-up situation for white, which is
that's right.
which is tough situation in that game for Bulgaria. On the second board, Gergana Pecheva is putting a serious pressure.
I love how she plays this game.
After c4, she could immediately maybe gain a pawn by playing bishop d5, but probably this is not something she will do, as maybe one pawn up is not enough in this type of position when it looks that she is having serious advantage.
Can she go something crazy like queen d5?
Yeah, or queen d5 I was thinking about for a second, but yeah.
Queen d5 and this
I just move my queen and it looks better than in real, but maybe queen d8 is an option. This is another story.
Oh, some trades has happened. I think she decided in the end to take the pawn on d5, and we might have the rook endgame.
I don't think this was the best choice, but since here, if we take a look, maybe some queen d8 was just winning, I would make that move. So she opted for like this pawn raid, but I don't think this was the best choice, since now after bishop d5, queen d, cd, rook d6. Yeah, it's not much.
e4, can we play it here to keep this
f5
pawn?
will
f5,
be
f3,
played,
and king f6 probably with either king d5.
Okay.
Oh, shall white just include rook
Yeah.
a7? Maybe this is something that you
Yeah.
cut the king for the 7th rank?
Rook e7, and then okay, still maybe this was good choice in the end, but my feeling was that she could have gained much more with queens on the board. Let's check this game. What has happened here? White was better, and why queen d5 was played? I don't get it. Strange move, since now, yeah, at least black is setting up a blockade. It looks to me that now black cannot be worse here. If we consult engine, engine says that it's a draw, but maybe now even black can try to play for more. Strange that Josephine, after gaining advantage, switched to a drawing mode here. Again, it's unclear, completely unclear, and as always in Radeva's games. Probably
so
draw
king
is
king g3, rook takes b2, rook d6 takes.
no, or queen
Is it?
g3, rook c6, rook c6, b5. I understand now. So queen g3.
Rook takes b2, because you can guard the pawn on d6.
Okay, so you
take
take
the
on
pawn,
d6
check. King f5 and rook takes b6.
and rook b3.
Attacking both pawns at the same
Yeah,
time.
you play something like rook b5. I move my king, you go up, I take,
Check.
check, king g7. You are better here, b5. But still a lot of job to be done. But white is better here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably it's equal with the correct play. Like it could be a draw. All right, Stefanova found this way to play 96-94 to save the pawn.
But
Wait, 97? Is there 97?
yeah, but then this is what this is her plan. This is why she lost so much time, because now the idea is to put pressure over white position with this c pawn and knight
H6,
b3,
bishop
knight
h6,
b3,
h5, bishop
yeah,
h6.
this way to
All right, how
enter with the
about
bishop.
instead of being greedy here, how about we just take the knight on d4 instead? Knight takes d4, pawn takes d4, and rook to a2 to go after c2 pawn,
So-
because this pawn is a big problem. Rook
This
a2.
is another option, and of course reasonable one to opt for. But here maybe rook c3, you take some way. Which way? Maybe depends of you. And then I bring
Yeah.
my other rook, trying to again gain some passer. Yeah, white is better, but still there is a job to do. Yeah, we will see, but in the end, this was played, right?
That's true, we have that on the board. And rook is also already on c3, so...
Yeah, as I mentioned, as a way to play. Yeah, we will follow this. Just once again to check here, pawn up, rook e4. Good idea. You see, rook d6 was a mistake from my side. Rook e4 was much better. And then rook b4 is coming. How can white win this? I don't see. No way that white can win. I think this will be just way of losing advantage for white. From very perspective position, suddenly I don't see that white can do anything. So this one looks as a draw. This one is better for white. And first board, deciding the issue. So how it looks that if Stefanova makes a draw, that Bulgaria will be qualified. This is my feeling. Any special situation on other?
In that sense, for Bulgaria, it's important to keep the eye on the match of FIDE Americas because they are the team that can catch up, but they are having a tough time against China as China's last board already scored a point. And the first board was a draw, 2 games in a row, and we have the situation where both countries teams can score the point, which means that China will qualify in that scenario. And FIDE Americas will not score a point.
Yeah, so China, it looks that China will win against FIDE Americas. Poland is keeping a pool against USA, while Germany against Bulgaria is still open. We can maybe switch to another pool. In the next pool, the situation is that Ukraine is still having an open match against France, very important situation. Georgia against Kazakhstan, still unclear, but it seems that Georgia is in better situation against Kazakhstan, while Egypt, India, we mentioned before. India, it's still unclear, but it seems that India is. Let's check this match. Let's check this match. What's going on?
This is the most.
So we do have
most amazing match for Egypt team. They have so good chances now.
This is match. Especially India can be happy that in this position they got a draw, which looks like sort of not lost, but not fun to play. So they were really happy to make a draw there. On the first board, unclear situation. We might even stay here because white is better, but black is doing good. On the second board, white is piece up, although black is resisting.
Doing great job.
Trying to do something, and on this board, tough matches. I don't know which one to follow. We have so many things to cover, so many moments. I would stick to Bulgaria and then to trying to find some game or some match which will be crucial soon. So here in Bulgaria, Elizabeth is better. Stefanova is on the last seconds. Dinara Wagner has found a way to survive this very dubious position. This one will end in a draw, which means that this game won't be interesting to follow, while Vicky Radeva is trying to bring the point in that match. You know that even this position, it can be very tricky for white to play.
Bless you. It is indeed, because like if you lost this pawn on b2,
no, if rook comes to b4, king starts marching. Suddenly you are really having, for me, strange decision because she was on 20 minutes, 15 minutes, almost 20 minutes on clock, and I think queen d8 would just decide the game. And suddenly you realize that you might have a really tough situation because maybe you need to be passive or you need to abandon this b2 pawn. Quite a challenging situation. Very interesting battles. What's going on here? h5 came, the move you mentioned, and suddenly b6. Okay, I can exchange this, probably play bishop h6 and come with the rook behind. Okay, I think maybe Elizabeth is trying to play her knight on d1 as a blocker.
How about after bishop h6, she gives up this exchange, rook d3, and then pushes b7. Maybe that was her plan.
Yeah, b7 immediately, so it was also possible. Here, after bishop h6, I just play Keti, I play b7, and when you take, I have this rook a8, and I'm winning. So that's why here needed was rook b3, which was played after rook b3. Yeah.
And now if we do the same, if
No,
we take the pawn on d3, then bishop has a square on e5. And that's a game changer.
Yeah, fully agree.
b7 anyway.
So if I take on d3, rook d3, you can take on b6. Rook d3, and you take on b6. Okay, pawn up.
Yeah.
Pawn up. Yeah, rook b7 necessary. Yeah, pawn up for white. Still some job to do.
All right, while we are waiting for the next moves to get on the screen, we do have Marcin in the studio with some updates.
Very nice attack of white in that position.
Yeah,
Marcin, where's Marcin?
Yeah,
Right, here I am. So now white had a great opportunity to attack, and knight f7 came out of the blue. White is prepared to attack, and of course the problem is the black's king. After bishop h6, you cannot take back on h6 because you will be mated in two moves, queen g6 and queen e6.
Nice.
So that's why black had to play knight to e7, and as you can see, this attack is still going on, but I believe white will win that position because of the poor position of black's king. I believe king g2 or even such a move may be good. I don't think that h6 might be good, but rook e1, which was played, gives a great advantage to white. All right, back to the studio.
Yeah,
Thank you
things are really now developing super fast, so we don't have time to dig deeper. We will have a guest, which is also good. Nice to hear from the first hand what was going on in some games. But just let's check what do we have while waiting for Marcin to prepare his short interview. We have this pawn up position, which is of course better for white, but still a lot of things can happen there. Here, what actually white did, I think she made a good decision because she was heading towards this pawn and trying to be active. Wait, this is tactics, nice tactics, Keti. On king g7, d6 is a move, or g3 also possible. g3, I'm not sure about the pawn's endgame, but this is the idea which came from Gergana Pecheva, which probably was a good choice. On the third board, still it's like a complete draw. Fourth board, white is trying to win this one. Some class will be needed here because it's not so easy. Other matches still in progress, a lot of interesting things, especially in the matches where things are deciding future outcome of the pool. But maybe it's time that we leave Marcin for a short interview and then come back. We will have more moves in the top matches, right?
All right, hello again. Together with me, Monika Soczka, Grandmaster, who won her game in match Poland against USA. Let's take a look at the crucial position. You were already pawn up, and did you count on bishop b6 and taking on a5 or not?
Yes, of course, but I believe this position is already much better for me. But you know, it's because also of the time. Anna was less of time, so this was my big advantage also.
Yes, of course. And after rook a8, she played rook a4, and you forced her to make a decision, and she took on a5, right?
Yes, it was mistake, but frankly speaking, I don't know the position.
Maybe bishop d4 was a move, right?
Yeah, but here, you know, I could play rook c2 and bishop e1 will be hanging in some moment. My king is coming, you know, the pawn a5.
You're pawn up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was pawn up from the beginning, but this is some kind of tricky position. So, yeah, but finally I managed to.
But she played rook, bishop a5, and just after bishop c5, there is a threat of rook c8, c6 to a6.
Yes, and bishop b6, and then just taking the exchange. But yeah,
minimum,
e4,
right?
e4 was probably, yeah, but this was the mistake because of the time trouble. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And just after a5, you took a bishop here, and now you took the pawn on f2, and you won quite convincingly. So congratulations, and we'll keep our finger crossed for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Marcin.
Back to you.
Yeah, we have results. Thank you, Marcin. Thank you, Monica. We have results in the match China against Americas, which means that China has won the match. Yeah.
Already, still one game is on, but the result is 2.5 to half. So this game will not change too much. That means that China also qualified in Pool B.
Yeah, they started with 2 wins, if I'm not mistaken, in first 2 rounds. Yesterday was a tough day for them. Lost both matches, and now they recovered, and they are in the KO phase in the top 8 teams.
That's right. So, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to FIDE America as they have lost this match. And we do have the first results. Germany, Bulgaria, board 3 has been ended in a draw. Still, 3 games are in progress.
Okay, let's check that match. Let's see what's going on. On the first board, we have this situation, which is a little bit unpleasant to handle. Although I would say that the bright side for black is that at some stage, if she managed to sacrifice bishop for a pawn and exchange both pair of pawns, she might save the game, since rook and a bishop, rook and a knight against the rook is a draw. On the second board now, we have situation which looks as a complete draw, and which takes us to the last game. Okay, this is interesting. What's going on here? So white wants to push the pawn, and black is running. From my experience, let's say that I make some move like rook, I don't know, rook to b4, king comes to c7, and black plays some king f6. I push, king g5, rook takes, king g4, or king f4, which is important sometimes. But of course, white can also play rook h8, and it will be the same. So king g4, king d6, h3, and here white should win this one. With the point is, when you play like king to h3, king goes to f1, you need to come out with the knight, and comes this king f3, and because of the edge pawn, you are losing that one. So maybe this is a scenario which will happen. So, okay, one precise detail might change the assessment, but at the moment it looks to me that white is on top here, and that she will win this one. Then this game between Elizabeth Petz and Antonetta Stefanova won't be so important for the final outcome of the match. Maybe we could switch to another one. Any suggestion?
We can do that. Meanwhile, in this game on the fourth board, that just happened, what you described. But black decided to give up the pawn even here at this point, to have the king at least on the b file. And now she is trying to push the pawn forward.
Yeah, so this was what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's check. This is the position. It seems to me that this is just a game over. Like I explained, king f4, now rook h1, king g3, king e6.
Do you have a 5 move there somewhere?
When?
Instead of h3?
Yeah, because if you play h5,
e4.
f5, I'm just moving my king down. I'm not interested about that pawn.
f4.
I just come down. And when I come in front, it's immediately won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, this is what I've studied long ago, and I feel quite confident there, Keti. So I don't think that this position is possible to be saved.
Wow, what an
that means
upset
that
here.
yeah, and now maybe even this position is some kind of improvement, but on the last board this is very important. It seems to me this. Okay, maybe I forgot about one plan. So you play this. No, this is known that this is lost.
Oh yeah.
Here, because
it's beautiful.
yeah, but even without without that pawn, it wouldn't be winning for white. So I would need to give check here maybe first. No, it's king e2 is not necessary. I can give check.
Yeah, check, king f2, and then you need to play king g3 to cover this,
king
right?
f1.
Ah.
Because if you play king h1, I play king f2, and on this I can play king g3, and then you are losing. But we are speaking that in this scenario when this one doesn't exist, so king f1 necessary, and this is possible to draw. But because of this f pawn, it's lost. So what here do we have still? Better for white, while here.
Wait, hold them.
Wait,
I think
king
it's
f2. Wait, what has happened here?
Instead of king e3,
Why
king
she gave check? I don't get it. She gave check, and now king f2. Now it should be a draw.
What?
She just gave check, which is, I think,
Unnecessary.
yeah, huge mistake. Because it was just a mate in king e3 and white wins. This was a draw. This is a draw. Now I'm not sure that Bulgaria will qualify. Yeah, now unbelievable situation. Yeah, but she's a good fighter, but she has an issue in the end
Oh, and a
games.
draw over happened. Oh, wow! What a turns of table
Completely
here.
winning, unbelievable. Now everything is on
On the first
Antonetta.
board,
Yeah.
we have 3 draws so far. Let's focus on this board. Is there a chance here for any player?
This is really unbelievable situation. Yeah, that you are losing and it seems that you are without any chance, and suddenly you need to work a bit.
Yeah, but draw here, if this game ends in a draw, it's enough for Bulgaria to qualify.
But yeah, maybe, okay.
That's enough
yes,
to
but
qualify.
still she needs to work a bit, because king can come to d3. Okay, even if I can play like rook e1, try to come out with the king. Okay, it's a draw, but black needs to work a bit. While they had like an easy situation with completely winning position for Radeva. Very complicated situation. Yeah. Still it's a draw, rook a2, but some job to be done.
All right, last board, all the eyes in on this game. So the current situation is that in Pool B we do have FIDE Americas. Losing this match means that they're out of the competition. Germany and Bulgaria, if Elizabeth Paz manage to convert this extra pawn, then they will qualify. in case of Bulgaria sharing the points with Germany, then Bulgaria qualifies to top 8 knockout system. Now we can feel the tension among the teammates. Everybody looks at this position, and we do have seconds on the
Yeah,
clock.
this seems as a dead draw now, but yeah, as I said, still there is some job to be done. Maybe we could just switch to another pool, because there we have France between Ukraine, which was also important match to follow. There in that match, on the second board, France has won the game. We have a draw. On the first board, it seems that Natalia Buksa is completely lost, and which means that Ukraine is losing the match. So France is qualifying, while Ukraine.
Yeah, in this pool we do have very interesting situation. If in case of France wins, they will qualify, but also India won, and they are sharing together with Ukraine, and we need to know what is the direct encounter between India and Ukraine, and I will check that in a second.
Maybe there is some tactics I'm missing. Yeah, maybe there is a tactic missing.
What happened?
But come on.
Well,
Here,
what's happening?
why black?
Draw?
Black is completely winning here. No, so black is completely winning, and what has happened here? In few moves, white is winning.
Checkmate or what's that?
Rook b4.
Rook a8.
Rook b4, and if you come here, I play rook b8, and you cannot defend against this one.
Wow.
Okay, you can defend, but of course with the loss of the queen. And if you come to c7, I play rook b8 again, and you are losing. But she didn't see this, and she just repeated the moves. She played here, I think it was like...
What a game!
Yeah, they repeated the moves, it was a draw. That means that it's 2-2, the result... Wait, no.
Okay, that's a bad news for Team India, indeed. So for the moment, we do have Ukraine and Egypt 5 points.
That's why she made the
India
draw,
has,
because she knew that...
but this is a beautiful study-like position.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes, but she made the draw because Natalia knew that, that 2-2 brings them to the
And
next
also
phase.
to be a queen down probably for a long time. At some point, you just need to make a draw.
Come on, let's say that you are in Indian shoes and you are following the game and you see that Natalia has a winning move, which would mean that Ukraine is qualifying with India. Yeah.
I still remember the opponent of one of the person that I was sharing the place at the World Youth Championship. And I just needed their draw. It was a dead draw position, and this person just lost. And I couldn't believe myself that it's possible. I still remember the name of that person, and it never comes from my head. That was a bad experience, I agree, yes.
Tough situation, but of course players, it's not easy to calculate, to take a risk. You are actually focused on your team. Basically, you are not thinking much about different teams.
Oh, this game is still in progress. Let's take a look what's happening.
It's a tough situation for India. Tough situation to handle because
they
were so close.
Out.
They were so close to qualifying.
Bulgaria
Let's check.
Playing against Germany.
What?
Who has the extra queen?
So
Pets has extra
Pets has won the game. Pets is winning the game. What has happened? Come on. Bulgaria is out. So she just miscalculated the pawn's endgame, and she will resign. Unbelievable scenario. They were winning on the last board, completely draw, and suddenly Germany pulled out a miracle, and they are winning the match and qualifying to the next stage.
This is unbelievable.
Yes, unbelievable outcome. This is just now winning position, easy win, known from books and for starters.
I love this. I love this.
It's an easy win.
So the pawns
Unbelievable
on the sides,
outcome.
A pawn, H pawn, C, and F might be a bit tricky, but the rest of the pawns, like
Yeah,
this
Elizabeth
one,
is now
easy.
completely aware that she's just winning, and she cannot believe what she just did for their team.
Wow.
That she scored an important win on the first board, bringing her team to the next phase. Come on, after two losses and suddenly three. No, how many losses they
They had 3 losses
Yes, and then
at start.
and then you made this finish, and suddenly with 2 wins, 4 points, you are qualifying to the next round. New tournament starts, new chances, maybe new story. Very painful defeat for
She
Bulgaria.
just needs to get the king
Yeah, it's
closer,
winning
and
king
that's
F3,
it.
and
King
that's
F3,
it.
King J3,
She will resign. Yeah.
and
Unbelievable,
We have
unbelievable
Janković.
situation. Really tense. It will be tough to handle for Bulgaria.
congratulations to Team Germany.
Yeah,
They managed.
Yeah, unbelievable situation.
Unimaginable.
Unbelievable
It was.
situation.
It was. I couldn't believe that they had still some chances after losing 3 rounds in a row. But you
And
see,
this
everything
last
happened.
match, I think at some points their percentage of the chances to move on were like less than 10%, because they were losing on the last board completely, not completely, but very drawish on the first board, and suddenly, they are in the final 8.
All right, we already have the final results. Let's take a look at the results of the 5th round. You guys, this is the last round of the qualifiers here. From tomorrow, we have knockout system. Only 8 teams now going in that segment, and the fight for the title is still on. Here we have a beautiful view of FIDE scores, and the results are in Pool A. Ukraine and France tied the match, as well as Georgia and Kazakhstan, 2 out of 2, 2 and 2, and then we have Egypt losing the match,
promising
half a point.
positions they had, but in the end, India won convincingly.
But there was not enough for India, as France and Ukraine took the spot. Then in Pool B, China managed to win against FIDE Americas, and they guaranteed themselves top 8. Poland won against USA. Those 2 teams are already qualified. Germany managed to win this match against Bulgaria. That was a very, very important last game on the first round. And here we have the final 8 teams in both pools. We can announce now officially that Kazakhstan, Georgia, Ukraine, France, USA, Poland, China, and Germany are still in fight.
Yeah, really, really fantastic drama in the end. I'm so impressed how the things went in the last seconds. So maybe it's time that we hear from the winner. Crucial point was gained by Elizabeth Petz. Let's listen what she's thinking about the outcome.
Hi, with me, Elizabeth Petz. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Did you really believe that you will be qualified after a few rounds?
Well, to be honest, no. But you know, like somehow I felt that there are still some chances, and it was very unlikely that the Latin Americans would beat the Chinese. So we kind of knew that if we win the match, we will probably make it. But the question how I won is totally different. But somehow, you know, there were many times when I thought like, now I have to make move repetition, but somehow like I always found some small resource and that eventually it rewarded me with a victory.
Yeah, okay. I believe this is the crucial situation. I believe it should be a draw, right? Still, holdable position. But your opponent played king to f6, Antoinetta played king f6, and I believe here you already knew that you can win, right?
Well, it's not like that I ever knew I could win, to be honest, but somehow I felt here I have a chance because beforehand, like some moves before, I thought like I had to repeat moves and then I found rook d6. But I was already upset that I had nothing here after rook a3 and suddenly out of the blue I saw that I have some small chance to continue the game with rook d6. But to be honest, I never knew whether I was like winning or not. I just knew that with an extra pawn there are some slight chances.
Yeah, and you had to play, right? And now
Yes.
this king f6 and this pawn endgame is already won to you. So that means you have qualified. It's really extremely interesting to watch such games, and I congratulate to all your team, and I wish you luck in the next chapter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic day for Germany. I just realized that they also won in basketball in the semi-final against US, which is always in basketball a huge achievement. Yeah, fantastic day for Germany.
It is indeed. Congratulations, all the 8 teams which are still on, you guys. Today we have a bit short day. We don't have another round, but from tomorrow we are coming back at 3 p.m. local time, and the match-ups are already there. And now we have a mix of Pool A and Pool B together. So let's see. Kazakhstan takes Germany. France will have the match against Poland.
Yeah, here I would say that Kazakhstan will have a really tough opponent because Germany now is in special spirit. Come on, when you were already, I would say, on the verge of losing any chance to move on, and suddenly you are there in this KO phase. I think they are now in positive spirit, which will be very tough for Kazakhstan to handle. Also, some other matches we can check. Please, let's stay for a second to see the pairings a bit longer.
Right, Georgia will take China in the next match, and the last pairings we need to check it out because sometimes our memory is too short. And okay, then who left? USA left against France, I believe.
Yeah, so we can say that of course there are some small favorites, but matches are all close to be even 55% maximum I would give to some favorites, but basically all the matches are even. New tournament starts. We will see some new drama. Tomorrow we will have 2 matches, possible tie breaks as well, as we mentioned before. Blitz might be played there, which is also like something we would like. We are eager to see.
Indeed, and you guys, thank you very much for watching us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. In the studio, we were working for you, Alojzije, Martin, and Keti. Bye-bye.
Bye.